Have you ever felt your body tingle for no apparent reason, like an invisible wave passing through your hands or feet, leaving behind a soft numbness that seems to switch everything off and on at the same time? Maybe it happened while you were alone in silence, lying down, or even in the middle of a conversation. And even if you tried to ignore it, something deep inside you instantly recognized that it wasn't just physical. Most commonly, the sensation begins at the edges. Your fingertips go numb for a few seconds. Then the same happens in your feet, as if they've lost contact with the ground. Some describe it as little shocks, others as waves traveling up their arms, and some feel it in their back or the base of the neck. Wherever it shows up, it makes no logical sense and carries a restlessness that science still can't explain. That's exactly where spiritual truth begins to reveal itself. While many search for medical explanations that never fully satisfy, others grow quiet and start to hear what can't be said out loud. The body feels before the mind understands. The energy field shifts before reality changes. And when that happens, the sensitive ones notice it with their eyes or ears, but through their skin, their nerves, their entire soul pulsing around their body. These aren't just tingles. They're vibrational signals, messages from the unseen, trying to break through the veil of distraction. If you're feeling this, there's a reason. Not everyone feels it, but those who do, don't feel it by chance. Some people are born with their sensors already turned on. When the frequency around them shifts, the body reacts first. These signs tend to appear at the most unexpected moments. You could be washing your hands when your fingers suddenly go numb. You might be lying down with your feet elevated, and suddenly they begin to vibrate on their own. Sometimes you even wonder, is this poor circulation? But deep down, you know it's not pain or discomfort, it's a presence, a touch, a subtle reminder that something is approaching. Maybe you've never told anyone about it, choosing instead to stay silent. But let me ask you, has it happened to you, and you just couldn't explain it? If so, let it be known, you're not alone. And perhaps that sensation is trying to remind you of something that can't be explained by reason alone. When the spiritual field begins to shift, the body vibrates. And when the body vibrates, it's because it's receiving something. You're picking up far more than you realize. And the first place it shows up is in your skin. Yes, it may sound strange, but it's real. You're not imagining it, and you're not overreacting. You're sensing what others ignore. You're waking up. And what no one ever told you is that the body notices first. The body is the very first part of us to hear the invisible. It senses before we understand. It reacts before we can think. Sometimes it moves so quickly that we don't even associate it with a message. We think it's just a chill, a moment of dizziness, a wave of sleepiness that appears out of nowhere. But it's more than that. It's a response. It's reception. It's alignment. Imagine just for a moment that you are a living antenna, extremely sensitive, and always in a state of listening. Frequencies are moving around you all the time, even if you can't see them. And once in a while, one of those frequencies matches your own. When that happens, you feel it first in the body, then in the spirit, and only later in the mind. It's as if you were a radio station, and the universe is trying to fine-tune the signal. That initial static comes in the form of subtle symptoms waves that arrive without warning. Only later, if you remain attentive, does the content of the transmission begin to reveal itself. Many people, however, never reach that point because they dismiss the initial discomfort, not realizing it might hold the key to something much greater. When you suddenly feel sleepy, when your skin tingles for no clear reason, when a chill runs down your spine even in a safe space, your body is saying, something is moving here. It's not fear or nerves. It's presence. And when that presence arrives, the body clears the way for it. It vibrates, it signals, it prepares the field. Maybe you felt that before when walking into a space. Before seeing anyone, your body grew restless, your shoulders tensed, your skin warmed, or the air felt heavier. That's not your imagination. It's energetic reading. Your body is picking up on something your mind hasn't translated yet. And the more sensitive you are, the more intense these readings become. You begin to notice patterns. The tingling doesn't come from nowhere. The sudden sleepiness arrives at just the right moment. The chills follow emotions that no one even spoke aloud. It's all part of your expansion. Not everyone feels it, but the awakened one. They feel it first. and those who feel it first must learn to listen more deeply. A body that feels too much is a body being prepared. It's not a health issue, it's awakening. It's reception. It's alignment with something the mind hasn't yet explained. And when these experiences begin happening in specific places, it's a sign that something is getting closer. All energy needs a point of entry. And when something spiritual draws near, the body responds first through the extremities because those are the most open, exposed, and receptive parts. If you pay close attention, you'll notice that these tingles don't happen at random. They follow a path, a pattern, a subtle track that begins precisely in the areas where energy can break through. Your hands, for example, aren't just physical tools. They're vibrational channels. They exist to feel, to touch, and to transmit. When they tingle, they're not asleep, they're awakening, making room for a frequency to pass through. That's why so many people feel warmth, pressure, or vibration in their palms during prayer, meditation, or deep silence. It's not just psychological, it's vibrational, it's real. Your feet, on the other hand, act as grounding portals. They are the sensors that touch the earth, filtering what comes from above and anchoring what must take root below. When your feet go numb, or you feel a subtle vibration even while still, it's a sign that you're receiving something in your body is trying to balance that energy with the ground. The nape of the neck and the upper back are also areas of heightened spiritual sensitivity. They're quiet regions, yet deeply receptive. If you've ever felt a sudden weight on your back, almost like someone touched you, but no one was there, or a chill crawling up your spine for no clear reason, it might have been a subtle contact. Sometimes, energy doesn't arrive as a presence, but as a gentle touch. These touches aren't invasive. They're discreet, almost like the spiritual realm is testing your ability to listen. And those who feel them aren't weaker, on the contrary. They're the ones who are already open, already ready. When the soul aligns, the body responds. If you feel this, it's not by chance. It means you're among those the universe has chosen to perceive first, to feel before others, and to recognize what can't be seen. You're not alone in this process. To many people, it's nothing more than poor circulation or a minor discomfort. But enlightened souls know. They feel, they recognize. That touch doesn't come from within, it comes from beyond. It's the field interacting. It's the spirit drawing near. And if it's a channeling, who might be trying to pass through you right now? Not every spiritual presence makes a dramatic entrance. Some pass through you in silence, with such subtle touches that only the awakened can sense them. And when that happens, the body doesn't respond with fear, it responds with sensitivity, with tingling, warmth, and vibration. It feels like something is flowing through you, without form, but with a clear direction, as if a message is being delivered not in words, but in pulses. In these moments, the tingling isn't just a sign, it's a passage. It's the exact instant when a frequency touches your field and leaves something behind, a code, a vibration, an activation. Often, it happens when you're most vulnerable or finally ready, when your soul says, "Now I can." That explains why so many people feel waves of energy during meditation or notice tingling in their arms when entering a deep silence. It's not fatigue or distraction, it's reception. Something moves through you, brushing against your most subtle layers and leaving behind energetic traces that the body translates as vibration. There are chakras outside the major energy centers, like in the palms of your hands, the soles of your feet, the back of your head, and the shoulder area. These are secondary centers, quiet portals that open when the incoming energy is too refined for the main chakras. And when they open, you don't just notice it with your mind, you feel it through your body, your skin, your nerves, your entire field. Maybe you've already felt this and brushed it off. Maybe you sensed the air shift, as if it became denser for a few seconds, or felt a breeze that didn't come from outside, a warmth that didn't rise from within. That's channeling. A frequency, a spirit, a field passing through you to deliver something and then moving on. When that happens, something has been entrusted to you, not in words, but in vibration. A transmission only you can decode. Because not everyone receives it, not everyone is open. If it came to you, it's because you were chosen to feel first, to remember first. Channeling is not a voice. It's a crossing, a delivery, a vibrational signature. And those who are ready Feel it more deeply. But why now? Why, at this very moment, is your body trying to tell you something? The body doesn't feel without reason. It doesn't tingle randomly or shiver without meaning. It anticipates. It senses almost like it's trying to prepare you before your mind even realizes what's going on. In many cases, the body senses what the soul hasn't yet dared to hear. If these signs have been more intense for you, more frequent tingling, deeper sensations, appearing without warning, it might not be a simple coincidence. It could be that time is accelerating and the universe is trying to quicken something inside you. And maybe this strange feeling is the only way the field can reach out to you before it's too late. You're feeling this now because something in you has already begun to shift. A recalibration, a quiet reorganization, the ground for what has yet to be revealed. And it's not just happening to you. There's a vibrational change unfolding in many places, in many souls. The collective is shifting, and the sensitive ones feel it first. But feeling isn't enough. You have to recognize it. What begins as a soft tingling could be the last attempt from the unseen to reach you. It might be the final whisper before complete silence, the final opening before the portal closes. It may sound dramatic, but ask yourself, how many times has your body tried to warn you, and you ignored it? How many times did you feel something but looked the other way? How many times did the vibration pass through, and you clung to logic instead? And what if this time is different? What if this is the final signal, before something truly important happens? What if what you're dismissing now is exactly what came to save you? The universe tries. It reaches out. It insists, but it also respects. When the soul doesn't listen, it goes quiet, not as punishment, but out of compassion. Not every soul is ready to keep awakening. Some retreat, some get lost in the noise, and then the vibration stops. The field closes. The frequency moves on. And what wasn't accepted moves forward, destined for someone who is ready. The portal doesn't always open twice. So what if, right now, you took a deep breath and tried to hear what it's trying to say? Your body is already trying to speak to you, but true listening doesn't happen in the noise of the mind. It only emerges when you become quiet inside. And being quiet isn't about emptying, it's about allowing, about creating space. There's a simple yet powerful ritual that can help you hear what your body and your field are trying to reveal. It all begins with the breath. 3 times, slowly, with awareness. Inhale through your nose, feeling the air clear a path inside you. Exhale gently, releasing everything that blocks your inner listening. Then comes the touch. Place your hand where you felt the tingling, your neck, your fingers, your shoulders, as if to say, I'm here, you can speak. That gesture is an activation code. You don't do it to understand, you do it to feel. And then, the most subtle part, 1 full minute of true silence. Don't seek signs, just be present. If a shiver comes, feel it. If a tear falls, let it. If a memory surfaces, observe. If nothing comes, allow that too. What matters is being fully there. Sometimes the body responds immediately. Other times, it simply notices your presence. That doesn't mean nothing happened, it means the field is testing your consistency. Spirituality observes who is truly present and who is trying to rush the process. Listening without resistance is surrender, and surrender can't be forced, it must be allowed. If you repeat this ritual more than once, you'll begin to realize that it's not a command, it's an invitation. And the most powerful invitations don't demand instant answers, they touch and wait. Spirituality approaches in silence, watching to see if you're ready to cross with it. Touch where it tingles, and listen. But not everyone listens. So what happens to those who don't? You've made it this far. You've breathed, felt, listened. It all makes sense, but this is exactly where many stop. Because listening is only the beginning and continuing takes courage. Many feel the calling but ignore it. They think it was just their imagination or promise to come back to it later, and in that later, the field begins to fade. There are people who were once sensitive. They felt their bodies vibrate with presence. They had chills with no wind, tears with no sadness, warmth with no explanation, but they ignored it. Again and again, they chose to rationalize the invisible, silencing what they couldn't explain. And little by little, the field around them closed, taking their sensitivity with it. It's not punishment, it's consequence. The spiritual field withdraws when ignored, not because it gives up on you, but because it honors your choice. Energy doesn't force itself, steps back, and what was once an open channel becomes nothing more than static. The connection fades, and the soul begins to fall asleep again. Maybe you know someone like that, or maybe it's you. Someone who used to feel chills even from a simple prayer, but now can't even find peace in silence. The most dangerous part is that spiritual emptiness doesn't arrive with a crash, it comes as absence. It shows up in the body first, then intuition, and finally the soul. And by the time you notice, you don't feel anything anymore. I once knew someone like that. She used to hear everything until one day, suddenly, she heard nothing. She cried not from pain, but from the emptiness. "It's like God unplugged me," she said. But it wasn't God. It was the weight of too much denial. She ignored so many signs. The field stopped reaching out. The spirit doesn't insist where there's no space left. She got used to the silence. At first, she thought it was peace. But over time, she realized it wasn't silence, it was energetic abandonment. And when that kind of abandonment comes from the unseen, it makes no sound. It just disappears. Those who feel it describe it as if they had forgotten themselves. One day, this woman said something to me that I've never forgotten. "More than missing God, I miss myself." That's the price of ignoring it. It's not punishment, it's emptiness, a loss of access, a loss of presence, a loss of purpose. But if you can still feel something, cherish it, take care of it. Listen, because if the calling still stirs in you, it means there's a mission waiting to be fulfilled. If the first sign came gently, the second one won't be so soft. Tingling is like a kind warning, a whisper from the invisible, trying to get your attention. But if you ignore it, the field shifts, the vibration intensifies, and the next sign will not go unnoticed. The second sign isn't tingling. It paralyzes. It shows up as a block, a weight on the body, a lock on the soul, a presence so dense you can't tell if it's energy or something forcing its way in. Some describe it as an anchor pulling them inward. Others say it's a pressure in the chest, not anxiety, but a sharp, direct warning. At that point, the body no longer whispers. It demands. It screams without sound. It forces you to stop, to breathe, to choose. When the second sign arrives, it doesn't ask for permission, it takes up space and transforms. You can resist it, but you can't pretend you didn't feel it. I knew someone who went through this without understanding it right away. She woke in the middle of the night, unable to move her body. It wasn't fear, it was weight. An energy so intense, it felt like it was crushing the air. She cried without knowing why, describing it as if she were carrying a memory that wasn't hers. The next day, her life began to change. She left a relationship that was draining her, moved to a new city, and began to truly listen. She never felt that weight again, but she never forgot the touch. The second sign is rupture, a turning point. It steps in where the first wasn't enough. It shakes whatever is still resisting. It doesn't come to harm, it comes to move. For those trapped in the mind, it appears as pain. For those who are awake, it comes as liberation. If you've been feeling the first sign, there's still time. But if the second has already arrived, you know it doesn't ask, it breaks in. And what happens next depends on the choice you make now. If this resonates with you, say it out loud. I am feeling this. Let's see who's still listening. And if you want to know what comes after the second sign, wait for it, because the third never warns you.